You letting the scouts outside. We running the scouts.
Hey guys, Nick here. Welcome back to another video where in today's video I'm going to be giving you my right wingers to watch heading into the 2020 Stanley Cup playoffs. So anyway, let's just get right into it. At number 16, we have Phil Kessel of the Arizona Coyotes. Now, Phil Kessel put up 38 points in 70 games this season, and he also has 77 career playoff points in 87 career playoff games. Now, the reason why Kessel is so low on this list is due to his really bad season he had. He only scored like 14 goals, I think, this season, which is really low for him. And 38 points is obviously really low as well for him. Not compared to his 82 points he had last year with the Pens. But the reason why he's on this list is because he usually, as you can tell by the number of points he has, he usually plays pretty good in the playoffs. So there's some hope for Arizona there. I think how he plays will play a big part of if Arizona wins or loses their series. Who they play? They're playing Nashville. So, that's going to be a big difference maker, I think. And, two-time Cup winner, as I said. He always performs well in the playoffs. He always does. At least every year I've watched him in the playoffs, he's done well. So, I think he'll be fine on Arizona for the playoffs. I am expecting him to do well in the postseason, so we will see if that happens. I have high hopes for Kessel this postseason, so we will watch and we will find out. But yeah, I have high hopes for him, and I do believe he will be a difference maker in that series. Yeah, so, he's had a very not so good year, but I think when you have, the break and, it depends really if he's been working hard and fixing his game on Arizona or not, so we'll have to watch for that, and we'll see how he does. Anyway, on to 15. At number 15, we have Brock Boeser of the Vancouver Canucks. Now, Boeser, who put up 45 points in 57 games this season, is the only player on this list who has not played in a playoff game yet. Now, Vancouver is playing Minnesota, so I do see potential for him to break out this year. I know he's not played as good as people expected him to play, and I know there's a little bit of trade rumors going around, but I do see this to be a good chance, him finally getting a playoff game in, to be able to show what he can do in the postseason. I feel like it's a great opportunity, playing the Minnesota Wild, a team that's not had that great a postseason history. So I think, I'm not going to say he's going to be a huge difference maker, because that's obviously going to be mainly Elias Pettersson and the play of Jacob Markstrom. But Boeser is another guy I think we should look out for. Obviously, he's in the top 15, but he's not any higher, because we really haven't seen him play a playoff game yet. So, it'll be interesting to watch to see what he's capable of in the playoffs. I think this year will really show what type of player he is in terms of, how he does in a winning environment in the playoffs. I think this will really show his true skill. And truly show what kind of player he is. And I'm really looking forward to watching him in the playoffs. I am. He'll be a fun guy to watch, and hopefully he plays well. I think he will, and that's really all I gotta say about him. So, on to number 14. At number 14, we have TJ Oshie. Now, TJ Oshie has put up 49 points in 69 games this year, and in 83 career playoff games, he has 56 points. So, obviously, number 14 on our list, he's won the Cup once with the Capitals in 2018. He plays pretty good in the playoffs. overall, he's impressed me in the playoffs. He's such a good fit on Washington, and he's just awesome in the playoffs. Like, he always plays good with the Caps every single year in the playoffs. He scores clutch goals. He plays so well and so skilled, and he's a very dynamic player. And I'm expecting him this year to be no different. It's going to be the same, probably. At least I'm expecting it to. Definitely a right winger to have in fantasy brackets if you guys do those for the playoffs. And just a really, really awesome guy. But yeah, TJ Oshie, really good guy in the playoffs and very skilled. And no doubt in mind, he's just going to do what he normally does in the playoffs, and that's do good. At number 13, I have Bryan Rust. Now, Bryan Rust scored 56 points in 55 games this season and has 21 points in 63 career playoff games. Now, the reason why Bryan Rust is so high because of his great season he had this year. Complete awesome breakout year he had. Obviously, his playoff numbers haven't been there, but really, looking at what he did in the regular season this year, there is hope that he can transition what he did in the regular season to the playoffs. And if he does, that Ben's depth, man, they're going to be a team to watch. And he's going to definitely be a player to watch, I think, in the postseason. What he showed this year is that he has potential to be a good player in this playoffs and a difference maker in games. Keep in mind he did that without Crosby for a long time, and he led the Pens in goals. He's definitely gonna be a guy to watch. He scores a lot of goals. He makes good plays, and him on a line with Malkin and Jason Zucker, that has potential to be a really good line. And as I mentioned last video, that does have potential to be a really good line. And yeah, he's definitely gonna be a guy to watch, I think, in this playoffs. A right winger, definitely gonna be a guy to watch. Anyway, on to 12. At number 12, we have Jakub Voracek of the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, Jakub Voracek put in 56 points this year in 69 games, and he has 19 points in 34 career playoff games. Now, this season was a pretty quietly good year for Voracek, and he definitely showed some skill, and was pretty underrated, I think, most of the year. No one really talked about him, but he had a good season. Now, another thing as well, obviously, 19 points in 34 playoff games isn't superb, but he's still a guy to watch this season. The Flyers are, have potential to go far in the playoffs, and I do think they can, unfortunately. You didn't hear that. But I think Voracek could have a good year. I think if his team does go far, he has potential to put up points and help his team win that cup. Now, he's not the main right winger to watch. I have another Flyer coming in at number 11. So, why don't we get on to it? So, who's that 11? That 11 is obviously Travis Konecny. Now, he put up 61 points in 66 games this season. Pretty good. However, in his playoff career, he only has 1 point in 6 playoff games. Now, this is just like Voracek. If the Flyers do end up making a pretty good run this year, which they do have potential to, I could see him putting up a number of points and helping the Flyers a lot. Now, just what he's shown this season is that he's a very, very talented. He's a very talented player. Even though I'm a Pens fan and I hate anyone who's a Flyer, I have a lot of respect for Konechny as a hockey fan, and he is very skilled and a very dynamic player. He just makes crazy good moves. He can move the puck well. He can dangle. He can, his puck control is awesome. He can make awesome passes. He's the type of guy who I would really look out for in this playoffs. We'll see how he does. Him and Voracek. We'll see how they do in the round robin. And we will just watch and see. I look forward to hoping to see the Flyers lose. We will watch and we will see. At number 10, I have Mr. Michigan himself, Andrei Svechnikov. Now, Svechnikov put up 61 points in 68 games this season, and he has 5 playoff points in 9 playoff games in his career. So, Andrei Svechnikov, a little bit of a Michigan guy. I'm just going to shut up now. Andrei Svechnikov, he is my number 10 pick. Basically, this season he has shown that he is capable of being one of the top Russian wingers. Not in NHL history, of course, but in the league. He is so good. Him and Oshie, man, the future is bright in Carolina. He is such a great player, such a fun guy to watch. I love watching him. He's incredible. Just what he does is awesome. And last year he showed what he can do in the playoffs. Obviously got knocked out by Ovi, which unfortunately, but he showed last year what he can do in the playoffs, and I think he's really going to take a step up from last year, and he's going to do awesome in the playoffs. He's definitely a guy to watch, and I just love watching him, man. He's such a skilled player. I just love watching him, and he is definitely high on my radar of who I'm looking forward to watching in the playoffs in general. And if I'm looking at who I want to pick in a fantasy pool, for the playoffs, Svechnikov's a guy I would think about picking. At number 9, I have Vladimir Tarasenko. Now, Vladimir Tarasenko played in the first 10 games of this season and recorded 10 points until he got injured and was out the rest of the year. Now, in 70 career playoff games, he has 49 career playoff points, and I'm really looking forward to his return. We all know how Vladimir Tarasenko plays. He's so good and will give St. Louis a big boost to try to go back-to-back in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera. There we go. Basically, he's such a great player. We all know how Tarasenko is. Very, very skilled player. I love him. He's one of my favorite players in the league. Man, I really kind of forgot about him, not gonna lie. I really did. With how good St. Louis did this year, I forgot about him, being honest. But now that he's back, I remember how great of a player he is, and just how much he's going to add to the firepower that St. Louis already has. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing the Blues play with Tarasenko in the lineup. And I think it's going to be a very good playoffs for Tarasenko. Obviously, it'll be his first game in almost a year, and I'm excited for him. I'm very, very excited for him. He'll play, I'm hoping will play good. It'll be a gamble on him, I think, because he hasn't played in such a long time that if you're going to take him in like a playoff pool, it'll be a gamble. I don't know exactly if he'll do good or not, but if he can transition what he did in those first 10 games and what he did all last season too into the playoffs this year, you're going to get something awesome. St. Louis is going to get the main right winger back. He's going to be awesome. Definitely a guy to watch in the playoffs. Whether he will, struggle a little bit at the start because, he hasn't played in a while, wouldn't surprise me. But I think he will definitely find his stride and he'll go back to that elite talent that we know he is capable of. And I'm really looking forward to watching him in the postseason. And, yeah, go Blues. At number 8, I have Patrik Laine, baby. This season, put up 63 points in 68 games, and he has 16 points in 23 career playoff games. So, Patrik Laine obviously hasn't had the incredible season that people were expecting, but he had a pretty decent year. I mean, yeah, but we know what he's capable of in the playoffs. He's pretty good in the playoffs. So, Calgary, good luck. Winnipeg has two pretty good right wingers in Patrik Laine, of course, and Blake Wheeler. But I went with Laine at number 8. Patrik Laine, he scores goals. He's a goal scorer. He is a very, very good goal scorer. And I'm expecting him to play very good against the Flames, a team he's had. I actually don't exactly know how much success he's had against the Flames. Somebody let me know that in the comments. But, I'm expecting him to score a lot in the round-robin game. Winnipeg is a very good team, mainly built based off of its goaltending, Hellebuck, and the offense. Laine is going to have to play he'll play a huge difference maker, whether if Calgary or Winnipeg win that series. And I strongly do believe that Laine will play good, knowing his past history in the playoffs. He plays good. And I'm really excited to see Patrik Laine score goals in the playoffs, because that's what he does. He scores goals. He snipes it, top setter, Bardowski, in the net. And, oh, Jesus, my camera again. Okay. And that's what he does. He scores goals. And I think he will score goals in this playoffs. And whether he does good or he doesn't do good will be a huge difference maker of whether Winnipeg wins or loses that qualifying round game. Series, excuse me. So yeah, on to number 7. At number 7, we have Blake Wheeler. Now, Blake Wheeler, once again from the Winnipeg Jets, had 65 points in 71 games this season, and he has 33 points in 48 career playoff games. If how he plays is going to depend on if Winnipeg wins that series or not. Blake Wheeler is a very good player and definitely a right winger to watch, hands down. We're just going to have to see how he plays. That's simple. He provides a good physical presence. Makes plays, scores goals. Just that simple. Can drop the middies when he needs to, and that's really it about Wheeler. He naturally is a point getter, and he's naturally a good hockey player. So he's the leader of Winnipeg. It's his role, and he's so good at being a captain on that team. You're just gonna have to watch him and see how Wheeler does in the playoffs. I think he'll do good. I have high hopes for him, as I do on anyone on this list. Yeah, let's have to watch, see how he does. On to number 6. At number 6, we have Mark Stone of the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, Mark Stone put up 63 points in 65 games. He has 25 career playoff points in 34 career playoff games. Now, Mark Stone is a very, very good right winger, one of the best defensive forwards in the league. I love watching Stone. He's such a great player. I used to hate him, but now I love him. I don't know why. But yeah. So, Mark Stone, very good hockey player. One of the top defensive forwards in the league, in my opinion. Once again, natural point getter. He scores goals, makes awesome plays. Very good at hockey. You gotta watch him. He played really good in his first year in Vegas. It's the first time being in the playoffs with Vegas. Wait. No, that's a lie. He was in the playoffs last year. I'm stupid. But I guess I could say in his first full season with Vegas, he did good. It'll be the first time he goes into the playoffs as a member of the Vegas Golden Knights for a full season. So, he's very good, and he's definitely going to be a guy to watch. Vegas is one of the round-robin teams, and he's just very good, Mark Stone. I love watching him. He's creative, he's skilled, he's a really good fit on Vegas, and yeah, I like Mark Stone, and I like how he plays, so he'll be a guy to watch, definitely. Once again, if you're doing your playoff, pools, take Stone. He's good at what he does, and I love him. Rounding out our top 5, I have from the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner put up 67 points this season in 59 games, and has 17 career playoff points in 20 career playoff games. Now, obviously, the Leafs have struggled to get past the first round for a while, but Mitch Marner has looked really strong in all of these times they played Boston, and since when they started playing the Washington Capitals. Mitch Marner has looked like a really good playoff guy, and he played awesome this year. Mitch Marner, he played awesome this season. His offensive ability, his creativity, his skill is just awesome, and I love watching Mitch Marner. Now, this might be my Leafs fandom kicking in, but I love Mitch Marner. I love him. He's so good. He's so good. I love watching Mitch Marner. I do. I love watching him. And he's awesome in the playoffs. He played 20 playoff games. He got in 17 points. He's awesome in the playoffs. So what he's done this year has been awesome. He's played unreal this year. Obviously not as good as our top 4 guys, but he's still played awesome this season. He has. He's played awesome this year. But listen here. If he can transition what he's done this season into that playoffs against Columbus, I do strongly believe the Leafs, if they don't play Boston, that they can go far in this playoffs this year. Now, I'm not saying Cup final, but I'm saying like Eastern Conference final, I think, is the Leafs' ceiling. It depends on who they play up. If they end up matching against the Bruins any way, shape, or form, they're done for. Whoever else they match up against, they have a chance. Columbus, they have a pretty good chance. Washington, I think they could beat Washington. Philly, I think they could beat Philly. Boston, Tampa, I think they could beat Tampa. Philly, I think they can beat Philly. Boston, no. But yeah, they're not beating Boston. But yeah, if Marner can transition what he's done this season into the playoffs, Leafs are good. They're fine. At number 4, I got from the Colorado Avalanche, Mikko Rantanen. Now, Rantanen has put up 41 points in 42 games this season. Keep in mind he was hurt. And he's put up 18 points in 18 playoff games. Like, he's a point per game in the playoffs. It was nearly a point per game this season. The Avs look like they can make a complete, legitimate Stanley Cup run this season. They look like they are primed for a cup run. I think they have a very strong chance of winning the cup. Mikko Rantanen, I think, is an early favorite, in my opinion. I know it's really early, but Mikko Rantanen, in my opinion, is probably one of the top players projected to win the Conn Smythe Trophy. And that's a bold early prediction. I think Mikko Rantanen, if the Colorado Avalanche player wins it, it's either going to be McKinnon or Rantanen. I believe that Mikko Rantanen is going to dominate the playoffs this year. I think he will. Him and McKinnon are so good. They're just going to dominate the playoffs this season. They will. Those two are going to absolutely dominate the playoffs this season. No doubt about it. They had the depth. They had the skill on that team. They had the goaltending. Well, goaltending's kind of questionable, but they got the defense in Cale Makar and even Bowman Byram. Can you imagine if they put Byram and Makar on the same line together? Byram can become the next Makar, and Makar's already Makar. Those two on a line are going to dominate in the future. They're going to dominate. And then you got a line of Landeskog, your captain, Nathan McKinnon, probably like the third best player in the NHL right now. And then you got Mikko Rantanen, who's probably one of the best right wingers, I want to say, in the league right now. He's so good. He is so good. He's definitely a guy I am all eyes on in this playoffs. He's just so good. He's so talented. I love watching Mikko Rantanen. The Avs are going to be a very dangerous threat in the West this year for the Cup. They're going to be a dangerous threat for the league. And I'm looking forward to watching them. That I've said all I can say about Mikko Rantanen. On to number 3. At number 3, I have 3-time Stanley Cup champion, a guy who's had the most playoff experience of anyone here. That is Patty Kane. Patty Kane had 84 points this season in 70 games, and he has 123 playoff points in 127 playoff games. Now, if we're talking experience here, Patty Kane is the way to go. He's still so skilled, so talented, one of the best Americans ever, and I can say that with confidence. He is one of the best Americans ever, and I love watching him, and I'm really looking forward to watching him play, and Edmonton better look out, because playoff Patty Kane is scary, and Edmonton better watch out. Now, I know they have McDavid and Draisaitl. That's going to be such a fun series. That's going to be filled with loads of talent. You literally got Patrick Kane on one end. You got McDavid and Draisaitl on the other. Man, this is going to be a fun playoffs to watch. So much skill involved in that series. And I'm all eyes for that series. And I'm all eyes on Patty Kane. I love him. Actually, no. I lied. I actually hate him. But from a hockey fan, I love his talent. I love his skill. But as a Pens fan, I just hate him. I do. I hate him. He doesn't give me a good vibe, you know what I mean? He gives me kind of like a attitude type vibe. But on the ice, I love watching him. He's so skilled. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about Patty Kane. Keep an eye on him, definitely, if you're talking experience. Anyway, on to number 2. At number 2, I have from the Tampa Bay Lightning, Nikita Kucherov. Now, Kucherov put up 85 points in 68 games this season, and he also has 61 career points in 66 career playoff games. Now, Nikita Kucherov, obviously, the whole Tampa Bay Lightning team, failed to win a game last season. What's the biggest disappointment? Kucherov, I have faith in Tampa this year. I do. I think Tampa, with the round robin things, has potential, and coming to round robin, one guy definitely to watch is Kucherov. You know, obviously, he wasn't as good as he was last season, but he was still really, really good this year. I don't know what else to really say. Like, he's so skilled, and he's a guy to take, definitely, in playoff pools. He's definitely a guy to take. No doubt about it. He's such a good guy. And I love watching him. And he's he's just really talented. He's a really talented Russian hockey player, and I don't even know what else to really say. He's very talented, very skilled. I love watching him, and yeah, he'll be a really good threat in those round robin games and in the playoffs. He's a guy to watch for. I think his potential to help the Bolts win their first championship since 2004. Anyway, on to my final right winger at number 1. At number 1, hands down, we have David Pastrnak. David Pastrnak put up 95 points in 70 games this season and has 43 career points in 42 career playoff games. David Pastrnak, man, he absolutely tore up the league this year. Scored like 49, I think, goals. He was just awesome this year. Pastrnak was awesome. That first line was incredible. Boston, I think, is a really good shot at the Cup. I think Pasternak's a really good shot at winning. He's probably the favorite, in my opinion, of winning the Conn Smythe Trophy. He's just so good. He's so talented. He's just insane. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to carry it over to the playoffs, and he's going to tear up the playoffs like he did regular season. No doubt in my mind. I'm really excited to watch him. Well, I mean, no, because I really hate Boston, but he's just incredible. There's nothing else I can really say. He's just incredible. He scores goals. He makes plays. He's incredibly skilled. He's insane. No doubt in my mind he's carrying it over the playoffs. First overall pick on any draft. He's just awesome. Oh, well, no, not first overall, but definitely top 10. Or definitely first round. He's just so good. He's just amazing. That's all I can really say about him. Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What player are you looking forward to watching the most in the postseason? Out of this list, that is. Let me know what right winger, actually, you're looking forward to watching. Mine on this list is probably Bryan Rust. Yeah, let me know, and I will see you guys later. Bye!